Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to the day's meteorological video. And I wasn't going to be expecting a meteorological video, but first off, I've actually thought of doing a special vlog into why it's been absolutely freaking windy, and I did not expect the winds to clock around 50 to 60 miles per hour. And it's quite funny that it's actually, can you hear the leaves in the background? Let me just jump cut. Oh yeah, we actually almost got like a leaf tornado of such. It's very windy. It's about 53 to 60 miles per hour. Remember I did, I actually forgot the storm's name. It was the very first storm that I actually filmed. Oh no, I think there was that storm that began with letter A, but I forgot the name about it. And it's such a totally different weather event because obviously in the UK we get just 4 seasons in 1 year, and we get windy weather like this. But in Malaysia we get a different type of storm, and that being intertropical convergent storms and tropical depressions occasionally, like the ones that hit in Malaysia 2 years ago when the floods were around back then. It's a bit different. I don't know why I compare different countries' weathers, and look at the leaves, they are just chronically everywhere. Can you see the leaves? It's so windy of such. Look at it. Look at the leaves. They're just oh my god. I might as well just jump cut for a while here. Okay, I'm back in the meteorological website here. This is BBC Weather. I've got Lum with me as the cursor. Obviously, it's about 53 miles per hour. We often tend to use miles per hour instead of kilometers per hour because we often tend to think of it as the standard scale. It's a little bit like measuring imperial metric. I don't know what to really say, but it's quite interesting or such. So it's been very windy from the west to northwest, if that makes any sense. And I don't know. Obviously, it does come from that direction, hey? But yeah, these winds are very gusty, and these winds are set to settle down as the day comes to a bit of a deep end. And it's only going to be a bright, sunny day, actually, but mainly in the way of cloud. I don't know if there's actually going to be any rain at all, but actually there's actually going to be none, which probably prompts a sign that, do you think next year's summer is going to be a complete drought of a summer? Is it going to be like one of the hottest summers we're going to have since 2022 or 2018 or, I don't know, 1976 or 1995, 2003? There's so many hot summers I could really think of because, you know, British weather really is determined by the jet stream of such. And obviously with hot weather, you need to have air coming from like North Africa and the Med. And of course, yes, but we're literally in wintertime. And funnily enough, as I went into Malaysia on the 2nd and the 1st of December, I've noticed there was snow. It was only a bit of snow on the ground. And funnily enough, I actually did leave this country just before it actually went into a cold snap. And luckily enough, I did not actually see any snow, which was quite good and bad and indifferent. Because, well, snow is very debatable in this country. I mean, British people are very infamous about, you know, just mollycoddling about the weather and such, and also talking about the weather with such gossip and blah blah. Noticing I've actually got a bit of rain here, but there's not that much rain falling here. I've just noticed there's a huge contrast, and not much rain has been falling across the rest of the UK. It's coming from a bit of a southwesterly direction or westerly direction. Some of it, because we're in winter time, if you look up north, there's snow here because of how cold it is. It's a much higher latitude, and that's why we're in winter time, and it's freezing cold. I can definitely see that huge transition of going straight forward, relatively mild, and relatively cold, and that's what winter is actually famous all about. But I bet climate change is going to hammer the effects of snow, because obviously snow is going to be less likely, and rain is going to be much more common than what snow does. Obviously, let me just go ahead and show you some more emphasis on why it's been super windy. And we've got Storm Pia, or Storm Pia, or Storm PIA. It's probably named after the Pakistani airline or something. If we go to the news, obviously I'm just doing random bits of content here. This is actually not much more of a vlog. I'm sorry if that video isn't really much more of a vlog, but something else. And strange enough, Oh my crikey, there's Storm Pia that threatens British travel disruption. Yep, strong winds for all four nations. Very much certain that you don't travel in that type of weather or else it's a death sentence. Obviously. And there you go. And of course, yes, it's the lead up to Christmas because obviously that's what everyone has been, targeting for. And yes, as it's coming up towards Christmas, British weather often tends to be very volatilely wet and windy at times, normally. Of course, yes, snow is also on the cards here, of course. It's quite a recent stormy weather event, but of course, yes, there's not really much of rain. It's all to do with dryness and wind, actually. And really, of course, it's just a yellow warning that the BBC weather has really enforced, of course, but interestingly enough, as we're in the West Midlands, we don't have a white Christmas, but in Scotland, they will have a white Christmas because of snow. And strangely enough, the likelihood of snow over the many years of such in this country, around England, of course, really has actually decreased of such. And that's all because of global warming and climate change. And there's a bit of hammer and construction ambience outside, so let me just jump cut and show you how windy it is. Can you hear that? That's construction work. I'm just going to get out of my room here and I should show you how bloody windy it is, going by the trees and such. And obviously as I'm walking up towards here, oh man, look how windy it is. I just need to do a jump cut. Sorry, my eye's twitching here. But I can really feel the effects of how freaking windy it is. Okay, you can see the undecorated Christmas tree. Obviously, it's like that, of course. I think I can hear some kids in the background because even though it's basically, school time, it's basically the lead up to the Christmas holidays, of course. I did leave off some of the leftovers of tomatoes because obviously I fed them to the birds. Probably because it was derived from some sort of old sandwich that I didn't eat. And funnily enough, look at the trees, they're just blown, eh? See how windy it is. Can you see that force? And whoa, that wind's getting quite angry, I tell ya. About 53 miles per hour. That's a very angry wind. And I can see some birds here, right? Can't really tell what birds they are because I've just got back from Malaysia, of course. And whoa, that was a close-up of a magpie. Did you see that? That was interesting, seeing a magpie. Obviously, I love to take footage of the certain birds. I love to film, actually. It's very, very brilliant. It's so nice, actually. I can't believe of how freaking windy it is outside. It really is windy outside. And obviously, I just can't believe it. I'm trying to film the magpie here. Sorry, I'm just trying to find out where that magpie is. It's somewhere. Maybe around somewhere, maybe. I need to zoom in very gently. I can't really see it. But the magpie, I think I can see it. It's actually right over here. If I zoom in very, very closely. Looks like it's very nice to do a bit of decent bird watching and stuff. Especially when it's windy. I can just see the magpie. There's his little tail. There's a long looking tail here. And really, of course, the temperatures in the UK, I mean, despite the fact that we are in winter, have actually been quite relevantly mild, recently mild, especially when it comes into global warming and climate change. It really has felt the effects of such. And I mean, the UK really isn't feeling the same anymore. It really is feeling a lot much more different than what we all think of, or than what I actually think of, actually. It's chronically interesting of such, all of a sudden. Such a windy day, and obviously the birds are relatively hungry, they're starving, they're trying to find some food to eat, and that's what they're after for. Mind you, I can't really resist how this magpie is taking refuge against a very volatile and very bad storm. And it's quite windy outside, very windy today. And that really has prompted me to make such a video like this on YouTube. It's quite interesting. This is not just a vlog, but of course, yes, my career of meteorology has really spanned from lots of years. I would say like 5 or 6 years ago, or 7 years ago. I can't really tell because obviously the weather in this country really has chopped and changed so much of what was going on. It really has been such a huge contrast of how different it is these days. And it looks like the magpie's gone already, and of course, yes, sorry, I forgot to film the magpie just jumping and flying away now. Obviously, there's still lots and lots of stuff here that I might as well have a bit of a chit-chat about. Maybe after Christmas, I might come in and, well, let's just say, replenish some of the bird feeders that are on the backyard. So I'm sort of thinking that, because obviously it's winter time, and yes, it's the solstice as I'm making this video, which is like the very shortest day ever in the world, and yes, as the days are going to lengthen, well, they're going to get cold, I'm afraid, and the wind is getting mighty angry. I tell you, it's actually blowing its top off. It's such a windy day. I just really don't know how the heck am I gonna really think and say to myself, this is really okay, or in this case, it's so brilliant to have such windy weather. But the reality is, windy weather isn't always good news. I tell you, it's absolutely windy outside. I mean, look at it. Just very ferocious, those winds. Terribly ferocious. But I mean, it's not really what I think of, actually. That's just me reimagining things. But anyways, I mean, you can just see the Christmas tree. Look at the vegetation in the Christmas tree. Look how it's moving in the wind. It's like he's planning an attack. Obviously, I can really feel how hustly the winds are, if that's a word. And look at those trees on the top. It's like I'm watching as if trees were about to attack people in slow motion. Crockies, that's actually quite interesting to see that. That'd be a very good mantelpiece, actually. That'd be very, very good. It's such a windy day, and I mean, look at that Christmas tree. It's looking like it's planning an attack. Well, I don't know how much I've actually filmed here. I think I should probably leave it here before it gets so windy. Anyways, please give this video a like. Stay safe as always. Subscribe for more flat videos in the future if you are planning to travel ahead in this type of weather as always. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.